Good morning. It's March 19th. I'm down on South Albert because I just dropped off the car here at OK Tire. There's a headlight out, which means I'm walking back from here for my walk today. So that'll be up Albert from here to the Crescents, which I've done before, but not recently. We had a bit of rain this morning. It's quite cool. It's only 8 degrees, I think. And only going up to 13 and down to 1, I think, tonight. So even a risk of snow in parts of Saskatchewan this week. And it's supposed to rain quite a bit more this afternoon. So I'm hoping that, though, that it holds off during my walk along Albert Street here to get back home. I'll probably have to take a taxi to come back and get the car, though, if it's raining. When they call and tell me it's ready, we will see. So here on South Albert, this is a commercial strip. And as you come into town from the south, this is what you hit first. This is where I often buy gas and get the car washed. More get the car washed than buy gas, but this particular Petro-Can. There's things going on over there. I don't know what. That used to be Tony Roma's. It's not anymore. I don't know what it's turning into. It's quite pleasant out in that sort of damp, fresh air kind of way. I was afraid it was going to rain on me just at the wrong moment, but it actually rained and then stopped. Hopefully it stays stopped long enough for me to get home. I think it will, because there's blue sky over there. That's the west. Over there. I have a strip mall here. The Cottage is an old restaurant that I've only ever been in once, I think, in all the years I've lived here, maybe twice. India House used to be somewhere else. This used to be the Keg. Then it was something else for a while, and now it's India House. Haven't eaten in it since it's become India House. But we used to eat in India House in its old location. Our go-to Indian restaurant, though, is a place called Caraway. We like that one a lot. Interesting sky there. Writing-wise, once I get home, lots of editing to do. Got this huge editing job I'm desperately trying to get through because I got tons of publishing stuff. Plus I got a grant to write a nonfiction book, so I got to get started on that. I have so much to do. And I'll be away next week, so I don't know if there'll be any walking for a few days next week. I'm always a little reluctant to walk in a strange city because, I just feel more conspicuous there, which is weird because in a bigger city, nobody notices anything much that weird people do. I'm not sure I'm in focus here. Let's just make sure of that. I'm going to be in Toronto, so I'll see if I do any walks in Toronto or not. There are people who do walks in Toronto all the time, so it wouldn't be all that cutting edge by any means. It's a co-op. That next building I find really odd. Just the way that they put the signage on it, I find kind of odd. Also, the building itself is a little odd. It always has a slight look like a beached ship to me. There's a radio station in there, Pure Country. It used to be called Big Dog, I think. It's just an odd building. That kind of overhang. And kind of blank looking otherwise. Here's the new Keg. It's not all that new anymore, but it was new a few years ago. Grocery store over there. Then there's a Holiday Inn Express tucked away back over there. Never been in that hotel, but I think my brother stayed at it once or twice. In the ever popular is what I was trying to say, Tim Hortons. There's always people in the drive-thru here, and this morning is no exception. Canadian institution, and not one that I really care about that much. I guess their coffee's fine. You know, they have donuts. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, I never think of a Tim Hortons, unlike many Canadians. Didn't want to wait for the pedestrian, I guess. But I don't know what they're building over there. It was a brew pub, and certainly from the external appearance, oh, magpie, I would say it's going to be a restaurant again. But I don't know what it is. They've been working on that ever since I've been doing these walks, I think. At least from the first time I walked down here. Hello, Fuhad. I'm doing fine. Burger King. This used to just be a travel lodge, I think. Now it's called the Atlas Hotel. I always like to point out that there's a pub in it that used to be an Irish pub. I don't know if it still is or not. Where I got Guinness spilled on me once, so that's what I remember about it. The external appearance has changed quite a bit, but the internal not so much. And it's known for its water park, so kids will come here for birthday parties and stuff. I was here a few times with Alice for kids' birthday parties. And the water slide, water park. There used to be an off-sale liquor store there too. I don't know what they're doing there now. There's Earl's. Earl's used to be back that way. And Crocus and Ivy coming up here on our right used to be Book and Briar, favorite independent bookstores, but that's long gone. There's a liquor store on the other side of Earl's over there too. A lot of apartment buildings then one block over, so very handy for all this stuff. Yep, that used to be Book and Briar. Great bookstore. But gone now. There's a whole bunch of businesses kind of down this side of this strip mall here. That was a Blockbuster. If you remember Blockbuster. Back when you used to rent your movies instead of streaming them, and rented them in VHS. The quality of a VHS tape seems unbearable now, but at the time we thought they were great. Dairy Queen over there. I've been there many times with Alice for this and that, with the other kids usually. Another restaurant. Ate breakfast here the morning of our wedding. Our wedding. My wife didn't eat here, but I and my family ate here that morning. Then my brothers and I went golfing. And then I got married. Apparently it was much less stressful for me than for Margaret Ann, from what she says of that day. But it all worked out. We're coming up on 25 years. Fried chicken over there. That's been there a long time. I haven't eaten Kentucky Fried Chicken in years. We used to eat it in Weyburn. My mom used to go to the one there because it's the only one in Canada that has a buffet, like a Sunday buffet. So my mom used to go there sometimes, and other people from church after church. I always liked Kentucky Fried Chicken as a kid. except for their fries. They always made terrible fries. That's a fairly new hotel there. Never been in it. Or in their London Bell English dining room pub. Should try it sometime. It's a Marriott Fairfield Inn and Suites. So we're almost to the end of the commercial strip here, and then it'll be back into, well, it's residential on the left, and on the right there's various things. Non-commercial though. Golden Mile Center over there. At least it used to be called that. I don't know if they even call it that anymore or not. It's kind of a mall. Much more external entrances though than it used to be. It used to be more of a traditional mall. But it was basically demolished and rebuilt. And now it's mostly sort of businesses with external entrances as opposed to a long mall inside, although there is still a bit of a mall inside. This has been a vacant lot forever, and it's currently turning into a bit of a lake. I think there's a gas station there, so I don't know if that makes it harder to find a tenant for it. If there's still some site cleanup that would have to be done. I don't know. That's quite the puddle that's formed there, though. Soon to be a mosquito breeding ground. I haven't seen any skeeters yet, but they're coming. Western Pizza there. Been in there a few times often for post-show parties. Has a room that's well suited to that. And pizza is always good after a show. There's the Golden Mile, or what I still think of as the Golden Mile. It's actually called a Smart Center and seems to have penguins on it now, so. Probably not even called the Golden Mile by anybody, except everybody who knew it before they turned it into whatever it is now. Western Pizza. Robin's Donut. There's an Indian restaurant around the corner here. Haven't been in there either. Big superstore over there. Down there, India Market. I don't know what all the fencing represents. Doing something to the parking lot. I think the co-op must be, is it closed or are they just doing work on it? I see lights in it. It must not be closed. Doesn't look very inviting. Oh, it just says pharmacy, so maybe I guess the grocery store is closed, whatever they're doing. But the pharmacy is open. That's how I would interpret that. So I presume they are just remodeling it. Used to be a Safeway. Huh. Wait, it was just like that the last time I walked by too, but I'm just now thinking about what that means. Over there is an original Joe's, and here we are at the end of the commercial strip. There's a school down there. Just a couple of blocks, high school. You'll often see kids around it. Oh, we just made this crosswalk, so that's good. Didn't want to have to wait. It's probably a long life here. Marion Gardens here is like a senior's retirement housing kind of place. We'll go down and take the scenic route here along their pathway. Quite a nice building. It's called Marion Gardens. There used to be a school here called Marion. Nice little path. Nice trees to screen a little bit of the traffic noise off of Albert. I don't believe I've ever been in one of the suites in there. I don't know that one, that might just be condos as much as a retirement component, but it's the whole thing is like the next one is definitely more of the assisted living kind of place. It goes back into there quite a ways. Could walk back in there, but then I just have to walk back out again. Marion Chateau. This one is assisted living. Knew someone who lived here because we used to drop her off and pick her up and take her to things. That way you might think you're in the mountains just from the design of the building. But you're not. And then the next one is called Marion something else. Marion Grande. Is that what they called it? Marion Park back in there. So that would just loop around and come back the other side around that central structure. It's a sign that says Marion Grande. Then up next is the grounds for Regina Christian Schools, which at one point was a different school. It's an old building. We'll see it in a minute. And of course, South Albert over here has lots of fine old houses along it. How green the grass is. It's just chilly enough. I just changed hands so I could warm up my other hand in my pocket. So if you go past that complex, then there's the high school. That's La Boldis, I guess, right? Is that La Boldis? I don't know. It wasn't my school. Our daughter's school. There's the school grounds. More condos over there. The soccer goal there. Trees still in the process of budding out, but they're getting there bit by bit. And the grass is very nice and green right now, so. And you can see the back of the school. They even have a hill. How special is that? There's the playground for the smaller kids coming up here. Because it is a K-12 school. You can spend your entire school life here. Which we gave some minor consideration to sending Alice here, but in the end we didn't. Davin School is right behind our house, and Luther has the best reputation from an academic point of view, so that's where we sent her. So that was her career. Davin and then Luther College High School. Somebody said it was like a boys' almost a seminary kind of building originally, and I can't remember the details. I should know, but I don't. Anyway, Regina Christian School. There's their sign. There's their school. Apparently they're having a summer robotics camp. Could walk down that way, but don't particularly want to do that, especially when there might be kids being dropped off. Guess we hit the crosswalk good again. Well again. Then I'll go over here and walk down off of Albert a bit, alongside the lake eventually when we get a little further down. That's the T.C. Douglas building ahead of us, which has the Mckinsey Art Gallery in it, plus a bunch of government offices. Named after the former premier, Tommy Douglas. Started his career as a Baptist minister in Weyburn. I met him once when I was at the Weyburn Review. He came back to town, and I met him and took a picture of him. Went out to listen to one of his speeches. Sculptures here. Those would be Fafard cows, I believe, by Joe Fafard. Because this is the walkway up to the Mckinsey Art Gallery. I'll go over to the left side here, I think. See it better. Another sculpture. There's the Mckinsey Art Gallery. You can see that's kind of a sculpture up there. As long as the sun shines, the river flows and the grass grows, which is a reference to the terms of the treaties, First Nations. There you go, Mckinsey Art Gallery entrance. And there it says T.C. Douglas building over there. We will take the sidewalk here to the left. Could go into the gallery sometime. It's free admission, I think. Or is it anymore? Maybe it's not anymore. I don't think we've kept up our membership. Have to be careful though, because depending on the exhibition, some it's fine to take pictures of and some it isn't, so they probably would have qualms with someone walking through with a camera, so probably I won't do that. To encounter qualms. I could become bequalmed. Like a ship motionless on the sea because it's been becalmed. I could be motionless in the lobby of the Mckinsey Art Gallery because I've been bequalmed. Just keep walking along on this side. There's a great big open space there that's occasionally used for outdoor functions. So this is the south part of Wascana Centre now, to the right. There's a wild bicycler and a couple of wild geese. There's always geese. Huh. It's got a warning on the internet connectivity. It's a rare or an odd place to encounter that. So I'm probably buffering at the moment. Sorry about that. Hopefully it stays connected. Otherwise, you'll have to watch the replay later once I post the recording. Went away, so hopefully I'm still there. You're still there. We're all still here. Been in this one a couple of times. Did a bunch of work for the Environment Department a few years ago. They were up there where I met with him. He's editing a bunch of scientific papers, kind of for I think it ended up on a website, but it's funny how these things you work so hard on for a long period of time, and once they're over, it's like, well, that's done. I don't remember anything about it now. Especially after doing this for so long. I'll be doing, maybe applying for something and trying to remember everything I've done that's related to that thing. There's usually something, but the details are fuzzy. Oh, by the way, that's Lloyd Place, I think they call it, named after another former premier. The next one is named after the first premier, Walter Scott. Not to be confused with Sir Walter Scott, the poet and author. Well, I'm sure he sounded every bit as Scottish. And he certainly wasn't born here. I think a lot of our early politicians probably sounded Scottish, because there are a number of Scots among them. That sounded almost more Liverpudlian than Scottish. In fact, I portrayed the mayor of Regina, who was mayor in 1912 when the tornado hit, for the centennial of that disaster 10 years ago now, hard to believe. And I did a Scottish accent for him because he was definitely born in Scotland and hadn't really lived in Canada all that long. Had to get it. The Scottish accent, you got to get it back in your throat. That's where you got to go, laddie. I need to listen to it again now to try to do it better. I've done a North Country accent, like the Beatles, like John Lennon. I've done English accents, of course. I've done Southern accents because I grew up listening to that. I did an Austrian accent, but fortunately it was intended to be a bad accent. It's commented upon in the script that it's a bad accent because it's a fake accent within the context of the script, so that worked well. I've done an Irish accent on stage, and Who Has Seen the Wind playing Uncle Sean. And I've done an Italian accent playing Tony Esposito, the most happy fella. I'm the most happy fella in the whole Napa Valley. That was a great role. In fact, I get to sing part of it again because they have an anniversary show coming up for Regina Lyric Musical Theatre, and they're having people reprise some of their songs from shows they were in the past. And I think I'm doing one for Most Happy Fella and maybe another one. I don't remember what she asked for now. This is the Walter Scott building. More government offices. So with a little practice, I can usually do a pretty good job in an accent. Wouldn't fool anybody from that area, I don't think. As I've often said, I've been told twice now, once when I did my Italian accent, from someone, that I sounded like I was from Italy, someone Italian to me. I sounded like I was from Italy, but not from the part of Italy I said I was from, which I thought was good enough, as long as I hit the country. And I got the same comment when I did an Irish accent in Who Had Seen the Wind. Uncle Sean sounded Irish, but not like he came from the part of Ireland the character said he was from. And I thought, well, Nathan Begorra, I'll take what I can get. I think my Irish accent comes from Lucky Charms commercials. They're magically delicious. More than anywhere else. I had to do a few different ones when I did Billy Bishop, because you play 17 characters in Billy Bishop Goes to War. It's a one-man show. Well, two men with the piano player, but the way we did it, he had even less than he does in a regular production of it, and by his choice. So I did 17 characters. So there was a couple of different English accents there. There was you ski, Bishop. I don't know what you say that accent is, but that was one of them. And then there was a Cockney accent at one point. I had to work on that one a bit. And it's sort of an upper crust English woman, I believe, that I spoke. Now I also did Queen Victoria once. I played Queen Victoria once. In drag. I was quite the sight. And about 3 times the size of the actual Queen Victoria, who was tiny. It was meant to be a joke. It was not meant to be a serious portrayal of the monarch. We are not amused. We are a monarch. Hey, the fountain's running again. That's lovely. In a watery sort of way. And of course the legislative building is right over here. I should have walked yesterday, but I just got busy doing other stuff. If I don't do it early in the day, I know this, but I still skipped over my window of opportunity. If I don't do it early in the day, I tend not to do it at all. Because by late in the day, I'm just feeling the pressure of getting things done. Whereas if you delay starting, it seems more efficient. So again, I will try to do better going forward. There's the Provincial War Memorial, listing the names of casualties from the province and the various conflicts. And there's the legislative building. This yard is looking very green, lawn. Okay, now I have to choose. Do I go up, cross over on the bridge? Do I go up here, walk along the north side of the lake, or the west side of the lake? And go that way. I think I went on the bridge the last time I came this way, so maybe I'll go this way. We'll parallel the bridge and then go under it down at the usual spot with the underpass, the little tunnel under the bridge. Very green. Here on the grounds of the legislative building. Has that tree always grown at that angle? I was going to go that way, but I can't tell if I can get through or not. I think the path is still open, so I'll go this way. By the washrooms, the scenic washrooms of Wascana Park. I guess that tree's been like that for a long time. It's just coming from that direction, it struck me how odd it was. There's your washrooms. Don't worry, not taking you in there. This looks like it could be a bit muddy, so maybe I'll stick to the grass. It does look like the path is open, so we'll take it. Go down by the west end of the lake here. There's the Albert Street Bridge, which we'll be going under in a minute. Looks like they were planting pipes or something based on those long, skinny strips of exposed soil. Bell would have been nice. As usual, cyclists don't seem to realize how soundless they are when they come up behind you. If I had suddenly pointed at the bridge, I would have punched him in the face because I had no idea he was there. There's one of the aeration fountains. Keeps oxygen. That wasn't going last time I was down by the lake, but I haven't walked around the lake for about 3 weeks, so if I can go tomorrow, it'll be the first time in a while. If it's not raining, my expectation is I will be walking around the lake tomorrow morning. We've still got the Canadian, Saskatchewan, and Ukrainian flags flying on the bridge, I see. They usually change those, well, sometimes every month. It depends on what special occasion they're marking. Or event, in this case, with the Ukrainian flag. Not exactly an occasion. You can hear the water running over the dam, over the spillway. Yeah, it's pretty high. Oh, there's the pelicans. There's often pelicans just the other side of the bridge there. I saw them, but because that woman was standing there, I couldn't get a good shot at them. We'll see them on some other trip. They'll be there all summer. There are fish in the lake, so pelicans can actually spend time here. Before they deepened it, you wouldn't have seen pelicans because there weren't any fish. This is too shallow and choked and oxygen poor. So the aeration fountain there is partly to keep oxygen in the water so that fish can survive, but it probably also keeps down the weed growth. I'm guessing. There's the bridge, and we'll go under it up here, and then it'll just be a couple of blocks from home. Sweet home. Which is good. I'm expecting a delivery about an hour. I have to be home for 2 deliveries today. I asked for one to be this afternoon, so hopefully. Oh, it's always muddy here. Hopefully they adhere to that. Tonight, going for dinner at the Hotel Saskatchewan for a German Wine Society event. We've been members of the German Wine Society for a long time. So they'll go to different restaurants and have a nice meal and served with German wine. That's just basically what it's all about. And the hotel is a nice place to go, so we are going there, all 3 of us, tonight for dinner. Right then. Around the corner and around the corner and through the alley. To Angus Crescent we go. Harrington Mews is where Wally Knight lives in my young adult fantasy series, The Charge of Excalibur, which has its own website, thechargeofexcalibur.com. You can get the books on Amazon or directly from Shadowpaw Press, shadowpawpress.com, in both ebook and print. And there are also audiobook versions available through Audible. Only through Audible at the moment. One of my many lists of things to do when I get a moment is to stop those from being exclusive on Audible and get them some wider distribution. Haven't seen any flowers, but there is a bush just by our front yard, in the next yard over, that has flowered already. I mean, there's Well, that one's working on it, whatever it is. Usually you see tulips by now, but and of course you see dandelions. Well, there's some flowering happening down there along that verge, on the verge of flowering. How long is this walk? About 45 minutes, I think, by the time I get home. I probably won't walk it down to get the car because I expect it to be raining, or enough threat of rain that I wouldn't want to get caught in it anyway. So this will be the walk for the day. On Angus Boulevard now. There's an Angus Boulevard, an Angus Crescent, an Angus Street. For all I know, there's also an Angus Road. It wouldn't surprise me. I presume they're all the same Angus, but of course it's a common enough name with the Scottish connections around here that there could actually be multiple Anguses. Angusi? What's the plural of Angus? Angusi? Probably Anguses. It is Scottish. It's not Greek or Latin. Angusa. Angus, if it was Latin, I guess. How do you even say the hard G in Latin? Yeah, I think you do. Angus, probably, and if you put those letters together in Latin. I'm somewhat familiar with Latin pronunciation from singing, because you sing a lot of Latin in choir music. Done some German that way too. Regina Symphony Orchestra just did Beethoven's Ninth. We saw that on Saturday night. I have sung in it once. There was a choir, but I didn't go out for it back when they were looking for singers. It was fine. They were singing in masks, which is never fun. That's Davin School down there. We're on Angus Crescent. There's the house built by Francis Portnell for his own use. Same architect that built Davin School and also built our house, or designed our house. That wasn't his only residence. Architects tend to build multiple houses for themselves, I've noticed. But that was one of them. Probably built it and lived there while he was working on the school. All right, we'll stop here. Thanks so much for walking with me if you're there live, and if you're watching the recording, thanks for that too. And I should be back tomorrow with a walk around the lake, weather permitting. Bye for now.